Most men spend their days learning what to do to attract a woman, how to appear confident, how to say the right words, how to hold her interest. These lessons have their place, but true wisdom often lies in understanding what not to do. Consider this. How often do we reflect on the subtle missteps that can quietly erode a woman's respect and attraction? Sometimes the most crucial knowledge is not about adding more tactics, but about removing harmful habits. In the realm of male attraction, some behaviors act like a poisoned well, tainting every act of kindness or charm. A man might try harder, being extra nice, giving more of himself, bending over backwards to please, believing this will win her heart. Yet certain actions can snuff out attraction like a candle in a harsh wind, erasing the very spark he hopes to kindle. It's a cruel irony that many men stumble not through lack of effort, but through misguided effort. They wonder in confusion why her warmth has turned to distance, why she pulled away despite all he gave. By the time the realization dawns, it's often too late to undo the damage. Today, let us cut through that confusion with calm, clear eyes. Guided by Stoic wisdom, we will reflect on 5 behaviors a man must never do with a woman if he cherishes her respect and genuine desire. These are not mere tips. They are principles to uphold. Avoiding these 5 pitfalls can mean the difference between a bond that grows stronger and one that quietly falls apart. Let's begin our reflection slowly and thoughtfully. 1. Never seek validation from her. Think about the subtle ways a man might plead for approval, asking, "Do you still like me?" when she grows quiet, or anxiously explaining himself to ensure she isn't upset. This habit of seeking validation is a quiet poison in relationships. It stems from insecurity, from placing your self-worth in her hands instead of holding it within your own heart. Marcus Aurelius once marveled at how we love ourselves more than anyone else, yet care more about others' opinions than our own. Why do we hand over the verdict of our worth to someone else? If you cannot affirm your own value, no amount of reassurance from her will ever fill that void. A woman in tune with you can sense when you rely on her to feel good about yourself. She does not want to be an emotional crutch or a caretaker of your ego. The moment she feels responsible for constantly propping you up, something shifts. Attraction cools, respect wavers. She yearns for a partner, not a patient, a fellow soul, not a burden to carry. Ask yourself if your confidence depends on her constant praise. What happens on the days she's preoccupied or struggling herself? A man must stand firm in his own esteem, offering support rather than desperately needing it. How does one embody this Stoic self-assurance? Begin by detaching from the hunger for her approval. Tell a joke or share an opinion without immediately glancing over to scan her face for validation. Make decisions guided by your values and accept her feelings about them without bending in the wind of every reaction. Give her validation instead of seeking it. Notice her qualities sincerely, see her depth beyond superficial beauty, but do so from a place of wholeness, not in hopes of hearing a compliment in return. And above all, remember that true confidence is quiet. It's the calm in a man's eyes when he knows who he is, irrespective of who stands beside him. A man who does not seek validation exudes a quiet strength, and from that strength blossoms respect, and attraction follows respect naturally. 2. Never put her on a pedestal. It is a tempting tale many men tell themselves. If I treat her like a queen, surely she'll treat me like a king. But what happens when you place someone high upon a pedestal? They can only look down on you. In our eagerness to adore, we may unintentionally diminish ourselves. Attraction cannot flourish when one person is exalted and the other belittled. Respect grows between equals, and a woman cannot truly respect a man who prostrates himself as if she were a goddess. The Stoics teach us to see things as they are, to neither inflate nor diminish their true value. So see her for what she is, a human being, not an idol. No genuine connection is built on worship, only on mutual regard. Despite what romantic tales say, She does not want to be placed on a throne above you. Even if her ego enjoys flattery for a moment, her heart longs for something real. She wants a partner who can challenge her, engage her, and stand beside her, not someone kneeling at her feet. Ask yourself, if you treat her as flawless, can she ever be truly herself with you? Even she knows she isn't a perfect angel, and pretending she is will only create distance. True intimacy grows when two people meet as they are, flaws and all on level ground. Only from that even footing can respect take root and love hold steady. How can you avoid the trap of pedestalizing her? Start by moderating your praise. A genuine compliment means more when it's earned and rare, like a precious spice used sparingly. Showering her with constant adoration might seem sweet, but soon the words lose flavor. Next, cultivate a life rich with your own purpose and passions. A man who has his own fulfilling journey will not feel the need to orbit entirely around a woman. By pursuing your goals, keeping your friendships, and nurturing your interests, you naturally keep her in perspective. Finally, have the courage to hold her accountable. If she disrespects you or crosses a line, speak up with calm resolve. Setting gentle boundaries isn't unkind. It shows that you respect yourself. And a woman, in turn, is far more likely to respect a man who respects himself. In the end, she will not fall in love with a servant who worships her shadow, but with a man whose strength and authenticity make her feel alive and equal by his side. 3. Never let her control the relationship. In any budding relationship, a woman will test the man's resolve, not out of malice, but from a natural desire to understand his core. She might push against your opinions, playfully challenge your plans, or check if you'll hold firm when she disagrees. These tests are her way of asking, can I trust you to be solid when it counts? If each time she tests you yield or waver, over time her respect begins to erode. A man who folds at the slightest pressure sends a clear message that his convictions can be swayed for the sake of keeping the peace. Stoic philosophy teaches us strength of character, the kind that remains steady amidst tempests. If you fail to show any firmness, she may feel unconsciously that you cannot be relied upon, and respect gives way to quiet disappointment. Consider what happens when you let her make every decision and set every rule just to avoid upsetting her. You agree with all her opinions, apologize even when you've done nothing wrong, and defer to her on every choice, from where to eat to how you spend your time, all in the hope of being seen as the nice guy. Yet by never asserting yourself, you do not actually create harmony, you create imbalance. It might seem gentle on the surface, but underneath, she senses that you lack a backbone. Deep down, most women do not want to carry the full weight of every decision. It's exhausting to be with someone who offers no direction of his own. Imagine a dance where one partner refuses to lead or even hold frame. The result isn't a graceful flow, but two dancers stumbling. In the same way, a relationship with no guiding hand can lose its rhythm. Understand that leadership in a relationship isn't about control or dominance. It's about guidance and security. A man who knows his values and the path he walks can invite her to walk alongside him. This doesn't mean ignoring her voice or desires, far from it. It means you listen to her, consider her needs, and then confidently navigate the course you chart together. Have an opinion when it matters. Make decisions kindly but firmly, and dare to say no when a boundary is crossed. When she sees that you are capable of steering the ship through gentle waters and stormy seas alike, she can relax and trust in your shared journey. In contrast, if you abdicate the captain's wheel entirely, resentment may brew. Not because she wanted to dominate you, but because you left her with no choice but to steer alone. A Stoic man leads by example and principle, calmly at the helm of his life. Show her that steadiness, and you'll earn a respect that anchors the relationship through any weather. 4. Never fear walking away. Perhaps the greatest power test in any romance is this. Are you prepared to walk away when respect is lost? Nothing poisons attraction more quickly than the stench of fear and desperation. If a man is terrified of losing a woman, he will bend himself into unnatural shapes to keep her. He will compromise his values, tolerate disrespect, and cling to the relationship even as it harms him. Ironically, this very fear often brings about the outcome he dreads, like sand that slips through clenched fingers. The harder he tries to hold on, the faster he seems to lose her respect. The paradox is that the man least afraid of losing her is the one who rarely has to. Why? Because when you're with her by choice and not by need, she can sense it. She knows you stay because you genuinely want to, not because you're too weak to leave. And that assurance that you could walk away but choose not to is profoundly attractive. Understand that no woman wants to be the sole anchor of your self-worth. It might flatter the ego briefly to be adored so completely, but it quickly becomes a burden. She does not want to be your entire purpose in life, nor the glue holding you together. In truth, what woman would feel safe tethering herself to a man who would fall apart if she left? She, like you, is human, prone to change, growth, even departure. If your sense of self crumbles without her, it places a tremendous pressure on her and makes the relationship feel suffocating. A high-value woman doesn't want a man who needs her to survive. She wants a man who is whole on his own, yet chooses to share his wholeness with her. This is why being unafraid to walk away is so powerful. It signals that you respect yourself enough to leave any situation where you are undervalued. So what does walking away look like in practice? It's not a threat or a theatrical exit. It's a quiet, firm resolve. When she crosses a line that violates your core values or belittles your dignity, you calmly distance yourself. Suppose she consistently disrespects you. Perhaps she mocks your aspirations or constantly tests your patience with cruel jokes. You might first communicate your feelings, but if nothing changes, the Stoic move is to step back from someone who refuses to show respect. Or imagine she begins to play manipulative games, hot and cold behavior that leaves you anxious, or giving attention only to withdraw it and see your reaction. Rather than chasing and pleading for clarity, you remove yourself from the game. And if her interest has faded, she rarely engages, treats you like an afterthought. Have the courage to walk away with your head high, rather than begging for scraps of her attention. In each of these cases, you send a clear message without anger. I will not stay where I am not valued. Walking away when necessary is an ultimate act of self-respect. Do it without fanfare or malice. Do not try to make her feel guilty or predict that she'll regret it. Simply exit with your dignity intact. This isn't about punishing her, it's about honoring your own worth. And once you've made the choice to walk, do not look back. Many men make the mistake of leaving, only to linger at the doorstep, peeking to see if she'll come running. Stoic wisdom urges us to be decisive. If you choose yourself and your standards, embrace that choice fully. Trust that if the relationship was meant to be, it would not require you to sacrifice your self-respect. In the quiet aftermath of a man walking away, something remarkable often happens. She recognizes that this kind of man is rare. So many others would tolerate poor treatment just to avoid loneliness. But not you. You have shown that you would rather be alone than in bad company. That aura of self-reliance and principle is magnetic. Whether or not she attempts to return, you have set a standard. You will only be with someone who values you. And in doing so, you become the kind of man no woman wants to lose. Not because you play games or make her chase, but because your strength of character challenges her to bring forth her best self. When a man fears nothing, not even the loss of her, he proves that his foundation is unshakable. And from that place of inner security, true and lasting attraction can grow. 5. Never be inconsistent with who you are. Of all the qualities that inspire attraction, certainty and consistency are among the most quietly compelling. A woman is naturally drawn to a man who knows himself and remains himself in every situation. Consider what it feels like to stand on solid ground versus shaky terrain. One gives comfort, the other breeds anxiety. In the same way, if a man's character is solid and unchanging at the core, a woman can relax, knowing the person she's with today is the same person she'll find tomorrow. But if he shifts like sand with every breeze, telling one truth to one person and a different truth to another, changing his demeanor depending on who is around, how can she find stability with him? If his values and personality bend and twist for approval, deep down she will sense that he is not safe to trust. Trust is the bedrock of desire. Without it, genuine attraction cannot last. Sadly, many men fall into the trap of inconsistency without realizing it. They believe they're just being adaptable or nice, going along with whatever others want. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny, agree with opinions that conflict with their own, or hide parts of themselves to avoid any friction. In the moment, it seems harmless, a way to keep everyone happy. Yet with each small betrayal of self, they chip away at their authenticity. Piece by piece, they lose the distinct shape of who they are, until nothing solid remains for a woman to hold on to. Remember, what you compromise to keep, you will eventually lose. If you sacrifice your identity to appease others, you might gain short-term approval, but you'll forfeit the very respect and attraction you seek. A woman's heart notices these subtle cracks in your character, even if her mind can't quite put it into words. Instinctively, she feels uneasy. She may not say it outright, but part of her wonders, which version of you is real? And when I need someone steady, which version of you will show up? The most magnetic men are those who are unshakable in their sense of self. History and legend are full of such figures. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, led an empire through chaos, yet never abandoned his principles to appease the crowd. Bruce Lee, a master of adaptability in combat, remained deeply rooted in his philosophy and discipline, no matter the challenge. In our own time, the men who quietly stand their ground, without aggression or arrogance, are the ones who earn lasting admiration. This doesn't mean being inflexible or close-minded. It means that even as you learn, grow, and adjust to life's circumstances, you do not betray your core values or pretend to be someone you're not. There is great power in being able to say, "This is who I am. I will evolve and improve, but I will always remain true to myself." Such a man is a rare find, and rarity, as the Stoics knew, has a value all its own. How can you cultivate this steadfast consistency? First, know your values. Take the time to define what principles guide your life. Honesty, kindness, courage, whatever they may be, and hold them close. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything when pressure comes. Second, be the same person in all settings. You might adjust your tone or approach depending on context. We all speak a bit more formally at work than with old friends. But never adjust your character. Let the man you are with your buddies, with your colleagues, and with your love be fundamentally the same you. Third, match your actions to your words. If you say you will do something, do it. If you express a belief, strive to live by it. Every time you keep a promise to others or to yourself, you fortify that sense of self. Every time you break one, you invite doubt into your own mind and hers. Consistency isn't about rigidity, it's about integrity. And integrity is quietly irresistible. Ultimately, remember that attraction is as much about what you refuse to do as it is about what you do. A man who chases validation, idolizes a woman, surrenders his leadership, fears walking away, or abandons himself to please others, will inevitably lose the very things he hopes to gain: respect, power, and the spark of desire. But a man who stands firm in self-worth, leads with principle, holds his freedom, and stays true to himself becomes unforgettable. In a world full of those who bend, break, and beg for approval, the man who remains unshaken stands apart. Ask yourself, are you the kind of man a woman can't help but respect? Or are you simply another man hoping and pleading for her approval? The difference lies in these choices we have explored. The choice, as always, is yours to make. If you found this reflection valuable, consider joining us on this journey of growth. Feel free to subscribe for more calm and thoughtful insights, and share your own thoughts or questions in the comments below. You might also share this reflection with someone who would benefit from a dose of Stoic wisdom. Above all, thank you for spending this time here. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.